Welcome back to an episode of J Bop and Chip. Where's that noise coming from?
It's coming from the headphones.
Oh.
Are you just hitting record?
Well, it's only one set of headphones. Technical difficulties, folks.
No, it's...
Oh, is it from your phone? Turn your phone down.
And you hit record. So all of this is live.
Ha ha! Y'all get to see.
No.
Why I don't hear it no more?
Because I fixed it.
See, I told you it was the phone, not the headphones. I'm smart. Y'all saw it here
I
first.
knew
I'm
that
smart.
if you didn't
Y'all
hit
saw-
record.
Y'all saw it here first. I'm smart. Anywho, welcome back to an episode of J Bop and Chip. I'm Chip. That's J Bop. And today we're going to be continuing on our journey of explaining about the other half of the 10 things that you don't know before you enter any part of the culinary world. J Bop, you want to start us off? The first part is going to be about, let me grab my notebook. The heat and stress of a kitchen, or just like the biz. Give it to us.
You're a jerk.
You're a jerk. You're a jerk.
No.
You're a jerk.
Stop before
I
you
know.
get us copyright. Stop!
Right.
So, from that abrupt start that we just had, get my stuff together. So we left off on the last episode, and we were talking about chase skill set, not money. And I believe I left off saying, because the video just abruptly ended, so we kind of have to do a do-over, if that makes sense. But I believe I ended speaking on, if you grow your skill set, then you'll get more money consistently because you're worth more, because you're better than average, because you know a certain amount of things, or you have a certain amount of time in the culinary industry, and people pay for that because usually that person is more dependable.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
speaking from the standpoint of hiring someone.
Yeah.
Usually you hire someone with more experience and a higher skill set, you pay them more money because of that. In most instances, like I said, sometimes you could fall from grace and you could be making 80 and now you have to take a line cook job because of whatever. So the industry fluctuates. But as long as you build yourself and build your skill set, you'll consistently get those higher paying jobs. So that should conclude where the other video ended. So now we move on to the next topic, which is...
Oh, you don't remember?
You the one with the list!
We're just gonna do a rewatch of this.
Get the list,
No,
you bum!
I remember it.
Oh, you remember, but you just had a
Yes.
blank from the... Okay.
No.
All right. Okay.
I said
okay.
we're gonna
okay.
do a rewatch, and you're gonna hear that I said what the next topic was, and you said, "Oh no, we're gonna go back," which is valid, but should have remembered. Anywho, we're gonna talk about heat and stress. How do you feel about heat and stress in the culinary world?
I feel you should just wear spandex. Spandex everything. Spandex fucking shirts. Spandex fucking socks. Spandex fucking draw. Okay, no.
Sound
But
like
seriously,
Superman.
no, just people need to invest in dry fit though, like a dry fit T-shirt or dry fit underwear. The short socks, the short like ankle socks.
Yeah, they're called anklets.
Yeah, the anklets to help keep your body cool, because when you're hot, you don't want to do. You're miserable. And kitchens are normally hot. The kitchen is hotter than the dining room. A lot of times it's hotter than outside. So if it's 85 or 90 degrees outside, the kitchen is pushing on 100, 110
absolutely.
sometimes.
It's-
even if you have AC.
Oh yeah, and it's still hot in the kitchens even when it's cold. Like I think at the beginning of the cold season for us, our AC was still running up to like 85, and it's like 62 outside. Why is it 85
Yeah.
inside?
It's hot as
It's
shit.
because you're working around a lot of grills and stuff.
Yeah,
So it's like-
everything is hot. The grills are hot. The fryer's hot. Everything is exhausting heat.
and then
so,
you got all these bodies next to you that you got to work like shoulder to shoulder.
Yes,
with.
a lot of kitchens are small, so that heat in a small box is you're miserable. So the best thing you can do for yourself, stay hydrated for one. Like water bottles are cheap as fuck, and you can find them anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So grab yourself a water bottle, and when I say water bottle, put water in that motherfucker, not soda, not getting tea or any. Drink water. Drink some nice cold water. Wear some motherfucking.
Pro tip from a chef that don't drink water: what you do is get you a splash of lemonade. You get you a splash of Sprite. You fill up the rest halfway with club soda, like just the soda water.
Yep.
And then put water in.
And that's how you get diabetes and die. No.
That's
do
how
not do
that's
that.
That's how
water,
you don't
people.
drink just pure sugar.
Water,
but you still
people.
get hydrated.
Drink water. Drink water. Wear dry fit.
They said hydrate or dehydrate. They didn't say hydrate off what.
From someone who has experience, drink water and wear dry fit.
I have experience.
And getting diabetes and fainting. Because that's what's going to happen when you drink that.
I've never had a fainting spell.
If you are working on the line and it's hot and you thumping and you drinking fucking tea or soda.
Oh, no. I don't be drinking tea or soda.
You be dehydrated, so you'll be miserable.
I don't be drinking tea or soda.
The Gatorades, even Pedialyte. I fuck with Pedialyte.
I be drinking water solutions. I don't drink just sugar.
Like if you're working a double, I say grab some Pedialyte.
Now,
real shit.
When I think about heat and stress, I don't only think about the physical heat aspect of it. Like I know the physical temperature in the place can be very hot. Tapping the wrong one. There you go. The physical temperature in the place could be hot, but you also have to think about the heat of the moment. Like
the heat of the moment?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So like,
isn't that a song?
Yeah, I was gonna sing it, but you got mad at me for singing a jerk, so I'm not gonna do it for copyrighted reasons, obviously.
Oh my god. Yes.
But it's like you could be slammed with orders, like night's going fine, and then all of a sudden, bam, you getting rushed.
True.
You got 30 things you gotta make all at once that all need to be out around the same time, and someone's coming to you asking you for something frivolous that they could do, or something frivolous that just seems like, why are you asking me this right now? And then in the heat in that moment, you're already frustrated and overwhelmed because of all this stuff that you're doing at once. You have to deal with that stress that comes in the heat in the moment. That's like, okay, do I take 2 seconds to calm down? No, it's not their fault, and don't snap at them, or am I just gonna keep going and say, get the fuck off my station?
Well, hold on. While you're going to that, if you go back to the first video and you remember what I said about footwear.
What's that?
Comfortable footwear. Yeah, I'm getting to that. Comfortable footwear. You got on some dry fit and you've been drinking water. You might not break that person's neck. You might respond in a civilized manner because you're technically comfortable in your own skin and you're not sweating bullets and running off.
What's that got to do with your mental?
That does a lot to do with your mental, because when you're in a better state as far as comfort, as far as how you feel in a stressful environment, you handle things differently. If you're uncomfortable and you're in a stressful environment and someone's coming to you sideways, you deal with it differently.
I feel like yes, I agree with you on that, but that's also an older mindset.
Because it's from experience.
No, I mean older mindset in the way
you just want to take people's head off.
No. Not in like a young person, like we just want to destroy shit. But in an older mindset, you've already been through the world long enough. It, like you said, experience.
Don't be saying it like I'm 58 and shit.
I never said that, but experience does come into the play where it's like, yeah, I've been through this shit long enough. I don't have the energy for this shit. All right, Bethany, yeah, it's okay. Go ahead. Here you go. Bye. Like, you're good. But even if you're young and you still have energy, and no matter if you're hot, like I know if I'm hot, I'm sweating, I'll be fine no matter what because I enjoy the heat. So that's fine with me.
I don't.
But if I am mentally overwhelmed, like physically, I got this. I can figure all this shit out. I can do that. I'll have like 20 salads on my board and I'm chill. But if mentally there's one thing that fucks me up in my process of doing this, then it fucks up my entire thing, because now mentally my entire order of operations is out of balance, and now there's some outlier factor that I have to deal with, and my mind was not set to deal with that.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I don't really.
So being in the game,
I have a higher threshold than you.
No, I typically have a higher threshold, but it's like after I've had my third and fourth rush, someone coming back asking me if I can dice up an olive for them. It's like,
yeah, I feel you on that. Stupid shit like that, because that does happen. Can you dice up this olive? Like, why the fuck I gotta do? Like, why can't they cut their own fucking? Yeah, I totally understand what you mean from that.
So it's like at that point, it's like, yeah, I'm fine. I've been doing this all night, but once something like snaps your mental just the tiniest bit, it all goes to shit unless you have something to help you get back on pace. And typically for me, even though you aren't technically supposed to do it, is the legal way is I just hop on the phone. I put an AirPod in and I hop on the phone because I know whoever I'm going to call is just going to sit there, listen to me rant about all the stupid shit that's going on in this very second and hear it going on with me, so I feel more validated and I calm down. And I'm like, okay, great. I can put all 40 of these sounds together now.
You had to have a therapist moment. You had to have a Dr. Phil.
Yeah, I just sit there on the back, like, this dumbass just came and asked me if I could put cheddar cheese on top of their Parmesan cheese and then mix it together with mayonnaise.
But okay, but you're not every situation you can pick up the phone and have a Dr. Phil moment.
Exactly. So that's when the heat and the stress of the moment really gets to you.
Which is why if you're comfortable, you deal with things better.
Yeah,
that's just my old opinion. Since you call me old, I feel when you're comfortable, you deal with stress better than when you're not comfortable.
I feel like when I'm comfortable mentally, I still get in that place. So I go step outside, get me some fresh air, and do what I got to do to get my mind comfortable. And that way, I think it just depends on the person, whether it's your physical comfortability or your mental comfortability. I can deal with a lot.
Everybody is different.
I have to have my mental comfortability safe. If I'm not, if I don't feel sane and structured in that moment, the shit's gonna be fucked. I might accidentally snap at somebody. I've actually accidentally told someone, if you come ask me something again, I'm gonna smack you.
Oh my god!
But you can't smack people in the kitchen. I feel bad.
No, you can't. That leads to violence. What's the next? What's the next one? You got
the
book all the way over there.
Let me grab my glasses.
You're starting it off violent. You're missing the book. What's going on?
I'm missing the book. The book's in arm's length. You see that?
No, see, you gonna fuck around. You're gonna hit that wire. You're gonna hit that wire.
Go ahead and put the camera on me so they can see it's on arm's length.
No, I'm not putting the camera. No, look.
It's right here. Y'all
stop hitting. See, and she keeps hitting the camera every time she moves. You see how she keeps hitting the camera every time she moves it?
Next one is unpredictability.
Yeah.
Works perfect, right? All right, sir. How do you feel about unpredictability in the workplace? What, you want me to put it in front of me?
Yes,
Why?
Because every time you move it, you hit the wire. Yeah, exactly. Look, y'all professional and shit. Nah, I take it back. I take back every good thing I said. Unpredictability.
Unpredictability. How do you?
If you look it up in the dictionary, it's shit right there. Exactly. So, unpredictability. I feel that's just something that you get better with dealing with over time, because you start to realize that it doesn't matter how much you set up your station. You come in with a great attitude. Something can happen that just fucks up your day. And the more those things happen, your skin gets a little tougher. Like, you're not so hurt. Like, oh, I had my station totally set up, and then you come in with this fucking party that no one knew about, and it takes away all of my fucking prep that I had, and now it look like I ain't do shit for the morning crew because I didn't know about. I would have prepped extra for this.
Right.
So you may be a little hurt. Like, now they gonna think I ain't do shit, but really it's such and such fault or the manager's fault because they didn't tell us that we had a party.
Why didn't you tell me that you were sitting 40 people at 8:30?
So, I mean, unpredictability, I feel, is something that every chef needs to be prepared for. which is weird because you can't really prepare for it.
Yeah.
But the more you build your skill set,
I feel like you can mentally prepare for it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't mentally prepare for it, but if you're trained or you're confident in your skills and what you can do when unpredictable things pop up, it's like, oh, okay, I got that. I've done it before. You have experience with it. So I feel that the more you experience unpredictable things that pop up, the better you become with dealing with them. But
I feel like
no one tells you that shit.
Oh, no, absolutely. I feel like I sometimes enjoy the unpredictability of the workplace specifically because it does test my skill set. And it tests those quick thinking, fast on your feet.
Absolutely.
You know, you have to get this shit done. Everybody else on the line is busy. There's no one to come help you figure this shit out, because otherwise you don't want to be the one that gets put in the letter and fucks up everybody's night. Oh, yeah.
True.
They didn't have their shit together, and so this happened, even though it wasn't their... They aren't going to put it wasn't your fault. But
if anything happens, it's the kitchen's fault. Like the kitchen in general. It's not one station or one. It's always the kitchen.
It's going to be like, basically, you know, we had all week to tell you we didn't have cocktail sauce, but yeah, we didn't have cocktail sauce because we forgot to tell you until 8 o'clock.
We waited to the last minute to tell you that we didn't have cocktail sauce.
Exactly, and now we have a room full of angry people with shrimp and calamari, and we don't have cocktail sauce.
We don't have cocktail sauce because we didn't check before the party started.
And it's like, if I'm just starting and I've never made cocktail sauce before, this is only my first time making cocktail sauce, of course I'm not going to have it for you on the
frustrated.
I'm going to have to go find a recipe book instead of going off the line saying, hey, how do you make this? I got to figure this shit out. So after, you know, so many times of, yeah, we forgot to tell you we have cocktail sauce. We forgot to tell you we don't have cocktail sauce. You know how to make that shit. I don't have to use a recipe for that anymore. I just go, I'm like, okay, I know I need ketchup, Worcestershire, this, that, third. I'm like, all right, that looks good. Throw a little bit more in there until it looks pretty. Okay, we're good. Here you go. No, I'm not tasting it. Use it. I don't care. And it's typically good. Never have any complaints. But, like, I like the unpredictability of the job because it helps you do shit quicker.
Yeah.
In my experience, it helps you.
But that also comes with experience, though. Like, the more experience you have, the more comfortable you get with
Having trouble saying stuff,
dealing with unpredictable things. So yes, I do agree with you about that. So what's the next topic that we got?
The next topic of the day is cooking for pleasure and for money are not the same. And I full-heartedly agree with that because I'm only 22.
you had to say it with the fingers. I'm only 22.
When I tell you,
and the hand clap.
I love cooking at home. I love just being able to be like, hey, babes, what you want to eat? Oh, how about I make a fresh pan of mac and cheese with some stir-fried beef and broccoli and, you know, this and that and that and that. Do all the works, make the plate look pretty. Yeah. And then I got to wake up and go make that shit at work.
It's not the same.
I want to half-ass this. Damn, I don't want to do this. And after doing that shit so much for work and knowing, yeah, I'm getting paid to do this, da-da-da-da, this is like my living. When you get back home for a baby, you don't want to be cooking no more. Like, nah, I've been at work cooking all day. Yeah, I know you can't cook, but you know what? I just work for this money. Let me order us some takeout. Yeah, it's going to be bad for us. Yeah, we're going to be gassy. Because I don't feel like cooking. Yeah. But I've been cooking all day. I've been on my feet all day. No, I don't want to go be in this kitchen.
That's real shit.
You're going to have to give me some type of incentive to make me want to stand on my feet for another at least 30 minutes. And whatever you got is not good enough.
So... Yes, that also, but that's from our standpoint, from being in the industry already.
Yeah.
But when you switch it around and say that same thing to someone, that
it's like, oh yeah, I love cooking. That means I should go to work. No,
exactly.
It's gonna kill your joy.
You may like cooking at home. It may be enjoyable for you to cook for your family or your loved one, whoever.
If that's the case,
what you want, cool. But when you're And when you're cooking for money and those people expect you to deliver the same thing consistently, it's almost like working for the circus.
All right.
The person who came in at the 10 o'clock show wants to see the person that came in at the 10 o'clock show should see the same show as the person who comes in at 5 o'clock.
Here's what I recommend personally as a person that fucking hates working in the kitchen. Yeah, I thought it'd be fun too. Yeah, I love cooking at home.
It'd be fun too.
I love feeding people. I love seeing them happy. Cooking is a passion that I grew up with. It's a part of the art industry, so that's right up my alley. Fuck that shit. If you like cooking, sell plates from your house. Don't go.
Oh my God, no. Do not tell people to sell plates
from your house.
No, nobody is gonna buy that
That's
shit.
gonna be more enjoyable.
They gonna send the health department in there on your ass.
You can get your license or whatever. That's gonna be more enjoyable than going to
it's the
work
same
in
thing.
a kitchen.
Whenever you involve money, the joy is gone.
No, I've sold plates. Not very many, but I've sold some stuff. I enjoy. It's like, oh, you said you want to pay me $40 for a pan of my Rice Krispie. Shit.
No, that's not the same.
I'm enjoying myself while I'm cooking.
That's not the same.
It is because you know what?
I disagree.
That's $40 from your pocket to my pocket instead of
right, but that's $40. We talk about $40, not $40,000 on a regular basis. Like they different.
But
selling plates out of your house.
Don't quit your day job. I'm not saying that.
Right, it's not. But anytime you turn cooking into a job,
keep it as
it's an
something
issue.
That's not cooking.
No.
I'm a firm. I've had to experience this shit, and it's almost made me lose my joy of cooking. If I wouldn't have got into this job, I probably wouldn't be cooking. But I've learned a lot of new stuff that I find fun and cool that is still helping me learn because I'm still young. So I still get to absorb some of this cooking knowledge and bring that stuff back home. Like, oh yeah, I just learned how to make a creme brulee. Let me go see if I can make one at home now.
Look,
like that's still fun to me.
You
but
can't
it's not
tell
fun all the
people.
time.
I'm speaking from the standpoint of when you're seriously talking about money. I'm not talking about Keisha or Auntie, whoever is selling plates out their house and they getting $40 or something to supplement the rent. Fuck that. I mean, you bringing in thousands per month. You're making 80 grand. You making $120,000 to deal with food. When you're bringing in money and food in the same fucking sentence, you can't look at it as, oh, it's fun, I get to do this and to throw the pot of sugar. No, it's a serious thing because you're playing around with people's money and you're playing around with people's food. So if you like cooking at home, you really need to get a part-time job somewhere just to see before you go ahead and put down money for education and things of that nature. And even if you get an education in culinary, take the cheapest route, community college, get a certificate, and then just start working in the industry.
You're right. I recant what I said. Don't sell plates out of your house. Don't sell plates out of your house. I recant that. It might be fun. You can do that if you want a few extra fun bucks in your pocket, but don't do that. What I recommend if you like cooking
is what?
Just throw parties.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Throw parties.
That's a good
one.
All the
food. Watch everybody enjoy themselves. You get to enjoy yourself.
You can even charge people to come to the party.
Exactly. Make a little bit of side change. Throw on a party. Make all this food. Yeah,
$5 entry fee, $10 entry fee. That should cover the food. I mean, you can do that.
I like the thought of throwing parties.
Do a little backyard barbecue type of thing. Yeah. I like that idea.
Cause it's not quitting your day job or your night job.
It's not quitting
your
day job. It's a little side thing.
You still have your subtle money, your good money coming in for your rent and stuff, obviously. But you also get to keep your joy.
Tiptoe into culinary if you feel you like cooking at home and you enjoy it. Cooking at home and cooking for actual money are two different things. So I suggest you tiptoe in the industry, get a part-time job, or if you know somebody that's in the industry, talk to them before you just go, oh, I like cooking at home, I should be a chef. Nope. That's how they got everybody with them fucking culinary schools. It was like, oh, you like cooking at home? Yeah. You should be a chef. And then them niggas end up crying, curled up in the fetal position in the walk-in. So
yeah, I actually
it don't work out like that.
I heard something about somebody that they had someone pay their way through culinary school because they love cooking. And then once they got out of culinary school, they realized they didn't want to be in the culinary industry. I felt so bad.
Should have took that money and went to IT.
You know what? After I heard that, I said, that's why I'm so happy I didn't go to culinary school. Because guess what? I'm working in the same position that all the motherfuckers that went to culinary school did.
True.
And I know basically almost the same stuff. Of course, I don't know the technical terms of all this shit.
It's time and experience.
But I've been working this shit since I was 10. So
you get the best education from time and experience, especially in culinary. So what's the next subject?
Free.
It was free.
It was free. All right. This one, I'm going to let you run with because I don't really fucks with it too much.
What is that?
Well, it's don't run away from food tech. It's not that I don't fucks with food tech. It's more of I'm not too much of a techie person. I'm just the go-lucky bubble girl. So you talk about the food tech, and I will put in 2 cents.
When I say don't run away from food tech, I'm speaking from the standpoint of I was trained by a lot of classic chefs who, you know, the most modern tech that you had at your disposal was a whisk. You know,
no, I
say
that.
Don't run away from tech, I mean, if you're in a situation and you need to make hollandaise in a blender, by all means do it. If you need to use the boat motor to make a sauce or a soup, by all means do it. If you need to use cornstarch instead of making a roux because it's faster, it's just things that I feel a lot of chefs are wary of integrating technology into what they do. And it could be something as simple as, you know, having an AI upscale your recipes.
Right.
Or, you know, getting influence from your Instagram or the reviews on the internet about your restaurant or the food that you're cooking. Like, hey, you guys should try blah, blah, blah. Or I went to this place and it'd be really great if I could get that here instead of going 2 hours there. Like, you need to integrate tech more so into your culinary workflow is what I'm saying. Because I know a lot of chefs that steer away from it.
If that was introduced to me when I was younger, I probably wouldn't be as strong as I am right now. When I tell you, the first actual culinary project I remember wanting to do where I was told I had to do it by hand, like old school, like it was from my dad. I was like, I love lemon meringue pie. I want to learn how to make meringue. Will you show me how to make
the
meringue?
But nah, fuck that, Holmes.
So
I would have gave you a mix.
He showed me how to make meringue, and I tried it, and he was like, yeah, you got to whip it by hand. And when he first said that to me, I was just like, fuck that. I'm not doing it. And I didn't do it. He made it for me. And then the next time I saw this thing on like TikTok or something, and it was like these fluffy souffle omelets. I don't eat eggs, but I was like, oh, I remember Pop said make a meringue by just whisking it real hard. And I was like, damn, I wish I had a hand mixer like halfway through. But he was like, nah, until you mix it the first time on your own, until you get that stiff peak, you can't have anything. I still didn't get one till like this year, and that was me taking my older sisters. But still, I remember the first time I sat in that kitchen, and I sat in that kitchen for a good like 30 minutes, an hour and a half, just whipping the eggs until it was a fucking stiff peak. And I'm just like, oh my God, my arm was dead. But I got it, and I got a picture of it the first time. So imagine how happy I was. And I was like, oh, that's nothing. I can do this shit again.
I feel you need to know, though.
Yeah.
Like, you should know how to do it without technology.
I feel like, you should. But I'd like to just know it, not put it into practice.
You need to have the technology makes things more efficient. It makes things faster. And quiet as it's kept. And I know a lot of chefs who feel that technology will never, like AI or robots will never take our jobs. They can get pretty fucking close.
Yeah.
You know, there are robots that can make pizza. You know, there are robots that can saute. There are robots that stir fry, and it comes out perfect every time. So technology helps us to be consistent. Like the combi ovens with the touch screens and all of that shit. And it's really to help us be consistent and efficient. And I feel that chefs should not steer away from it, because I know a lot of chefs who don't know how to use a computer or Microsoft Excel or Word, things of that nature. Like, you need to be more, not necessarily excited, but more willing to use tech in your culinary workflow.
It's like, oh shit, I don't have to whip all these eggs by hand. I could just, and it's done. Damn.
Or, you know, not necessarily buying eggs separated, but if you had something that you crack the eggs on and it separates them, why not? Why not use it? Why not buy it? If you just,
I think we watched a trick.
It's like
somewhere.
rollers, and they just go off of it. But there's several ways to separate a bunch of egg whites
trick
from
somewhere,
egg
and I'm gonna
yolks.
try it one day. They cracked an egg and they rubbed some garlic on their fingers, and then they
I think we watched that and they just picked it up. Yeah,
we gotta try that one day to
Okay.
see if it actually works.
we can try. Was that the last one? On
No,
there? What's the next one?
the one that I personally felt like needed to get added in here
What?
because I was being boozled into thinking this.
I was bamboo. Oh gosh, what is this one? What is this one?
If you're working in a kitchen, not every kitchen you work in will feed you. When I say that, I mean some jobs you're back at a house, so you're cooking the food, you're in charge of the food, you're at this station, that station, doesn't matter whether you're in the main station or not. You're still making and preparing food. Some of those jobs will be like, okay, you're the chef, you're the cook, you're making the food. Of course, yeah, whenever you're hungry for your break, just whip you up something and you can go eat. That's fine. But other jobs, and it like disheartened me, and I was like, is when you are on the back of the house and you are in charge of cooking, but instead of, being able to be like, yeah, they'll tell you, oh yeah, whenever you're hungry, just go ahead and whip you something up and go eat. They add in a part, it was like, just make sure you ring it in before you go. And it's like, I'm working back here, I'm sweating, I'm doing all this, like, I physically had to make my own food. No one else is making it for me, and I still have to pay for, I understand paying for it for product control and stuff like that to know what's going in and out of your door. But at the same time, I feel like if that's the case, I would rather them set parameters on what and what you can't have instead of just saying, yeah, no matter what you have to pay for your food.
So when it comes
it's a little silly to me, at least.
So when it comes to places like that's very true. Not every place will feed you. Not every job will feed you. And so this is it's something that I'm gonna try to tread lightly on. So when I'm over a kitchen, I just try to use like common sense. I can't tell my chefs, no, don't eat anything. You'll be reprimanded if you eat, because they're chefs. They literally touch food all the time. I can't micromanage everyone to see if you're putting a French fry in your mouth. So I just, use common sense. Don't take anything expensive. Don't touch the fish. Don't touch the jumbo shrimp or the crab cakes or the steaks. There's plenty of other things that you could TikTok a meal together or whatever. And be discreet about it. The general manager walking around, don't just be eating the plate in his face. Like stuff like that, I try to do in every kitchen that I work at, because I try to feel the vibe of how the place works. But then you have the other part of the back of the house, which is the front of the house, which are servers who also want things to eat. And so, like, if you're at a place and they serve employee meal and you don't like the employee meal, you can either try to, high five finger discount something from one of the chefs, like, hey, bruh, hook me up with a burger. Or you can order your own shit, or just bring lunch from home. Like, I'm a big advocate of bringing lunch from home. But if you're in a situation where, okay, your place doesn't offer food, then once again, I suggest you bring things from home. Like, it's not worth trying to steal something or getting a cook in trouble because they're making you food, and you could potentially lose your job or get written up. So my solution is bring something from home, or if you snacking, be discreet. If you're a manager, let's be real. If a motherfucker's eating chicken tenders or having a fucking burger or a chicken sandwich, whatever, it's certain things that don't really put a dent in your margins. Chicken tenders don't really put a dent in your fries. If fries and chicken tenders are putting a dent in your margins, you have a bigger problem, and your margins are really fucking tight. And you probably have people stealing from you anyway, because people are going to steal. But you don't want to put them in a situation where they feel they have to steal. So it's kind of like a give and take. It's like, okay, I'm going to look the other way if you eat a burger. I'd rather look the other way and let you eat a burger than, now you stealing food because you don't like me or you haven't eaten into the, it's a balance that you gotta play with.
Yeah, and with that balance, I feel like another really big aspect that you have to think about is like what we previously talked about, where there aren't consequences for certain actions. Because I have, and I think I spoke about this before, but I have been at a workplace where we did start off getting free food, but then you have the motherfuckers that are like, okay, yeah, they said I could get a free meal, that's fine. And so I'm going to eat a burger on my 5-minute break. I'm going to eat chicken tenders on my actual break along with the burger. And then I'm also going to take a burger home with me.
Yeah, but see,
so
they ain't put no parameters in place. And then there were no consequences, like you said.
Exactly.
It's like, okay,
it's
nigga,
no
you had a burger.
part.
That's it. Like,
Exactly.
you get one a day,
so
motherfucker.
You have to start putting limits on people. And then that's when they started getting, they started trying to be smart. And I will admit, there was only like 1 or 2 times I tried to be smart too. But it wasn't even me being smart. I was just high and I was hungry. And I wanted food. But you'd because it was a burger joint. So instead of, getting 3 burgers separately, they're getting triple and quadruple burgers. So burgers with 4 to 3 to 4 pieces of meat in between the buns.
I feel that's part of management letting that shit just go. Because once you see somebody taking a mile from an inch, you need to nip that shit in the bud, because other people will see it and then go, oh, we can get away with that. Well, let me see. And then it's like, okay, we got to shut this shit down. Ain't nobody getting shit. Before you get to that point, you got to stop the little people taking miles from your inch. So when you see somebody do that, it's like, hey, bro, you can't. Don't do that. Who cooked this? Who made that for them? Both of y'all get up. You can't fucking do that shit. What sense does you just gave that motherfucker 4 burgers, bro? Like, don't try to screw me, because you giving them 4 burgers. Now you taking 4 burgers out of 4 other people, because it doesn't necessarily affect the margins when it's spread out like that.
Yeah.
But when you got people doing shit like taking burger stacks and quadruple burger, if 4 of y'all do that
shit, I would pay though.
we fuck. If 4 people do that on a regular basis, or 4 people do that a week, and it's getting taken out of the budget or the kitchen for free, yeah, that affects shit. But when you spread it out, or someone's you got a free burger a day as your employee meal or something small like that, it's built into the budget. Like, okay, we got employee meal, we got these many people had burgers this week. But when you doing shit like that, hell yeah, I nip that shit in the board, or I cut it off for everybody. But
absolutely,
it's those bad apples that always ruin it.
Exactly, it got so bad to the point where, at one point, like before I ended up having to leave the job because I moved to this one, it got so bad to the point where the manager had a thing hooked up to his phone so he could see through the cameras no matter where he was. And he actually told us one day as a joke that he could see us while he's just chilling at home.
It started affecting the numbers.
Yeah, and then one day he came in and he was like, yeah, I be watching the cameras and y'all need to stop just eating the fries. Next person I catch eating a fry or stealing a fry at this point, because I told y'all to stop,
it shouldn't get
y'all
that
getting
bad.
Fired.
It shouldn't get that bad to where you firing people over fries. If you had to nip that shit in the bud, lay down some ground rules, people would have been, okay, these are the parameters, let's obey these rules, cool. And when you don't nip it in the bud, you start firing people over fries.
Absolutely.
So I definitely agree, there's a balance. Things need to be built into the budget for people to eat, whether that's employee meal, or you have an employee menu, or you get an employee discount. Something needs to be put in for people to eat at work, unless they bring their own lunch, because then you have people just stealing because they're hungry. And once they get away with stealing because they're hungry, now they're going to steal because they can get away with stealing, and your numbers fucked up, and you end up putting in a big-ass security system, and now you're going to fire motherfuckers over fries. So
once I came to the realization that not all jobs feeds you, or sometimes it gets to that point. Me personally, whenever I go into an interview, especially if it's in the food industry, and they say, so do you have any more questions? Typically, the 3 questions I ask, just because of the personality I have and what I like to do, is the first one I say is, what are your policies on makeup? Because I obviously like to wear makeup.
Oh my gosh, you can't wear makeup in the kitchen. You know that.
And some parts you can, because the job I was talking about, they let me come in and put glitter all over myself, and I covered the entire staff with glitter. Like,
what? Glitter out of all?
Oh glitter. I literally walked around to each person,
is
and I was
worst fucking thing.
Oh nah, I told them how to get it off. It was fine.
No, it's everywhere. It gets into glitter.
Oh no, I have the good stuff. It stays unless you are physically
It doesn't matter.
Either way,
doesn't. It's
Either
like
way, the 3
powdered
questions I
glass.
ask is, what's your policy on makeup? The second one is, what's your policy on hair/hair colors? And then the third one is, do employees eat free? Do we get discounts? What's that like? Now, albeit in your head, some people don't like asking it, because I didn't like asking it at first because it feels like you're just trying to see what you can get out of the company. But if you think about it from an adult point of view, it's not you trying to figure out what you can get out of the company. It's more of you trying to budget your life. Because if you are working at a food industry and you need food to survive during your 8 to possible double hour shift, you need to figure out, do I need to pack 2 lunches with me, or can I afford to buy 2 lunches here? Like, what's going on? Or do I just get 2 lunches for free if I'm working a double? Like, you gotta know how to figure that out.
Do I get 2 lunches for free if I'm working a double? Well, no. Well,
at least that's how I break it down in my head.
Understand if a place is offering lunch is completely understandable, but if they don't have lunch, bring your own lunch. Don't risk losing your job trying to eat at work. And a lot of people are not gonna listen to this. They just gonna do whatever and try to eat at work and 5-fingered it, and then them and the fucking cook is gonna be fired. So I'm a strong advocate for bringing your own lunch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Most of the time, if I couldn't remember to bring my own lunch and I couldn't afford when I wanted lunch, because when they switched it over, if you're a good employee that does what you're supposed to do and you aren't always taking advantage, or you aren't taking advantage of the 5-finger discount, most of the time, if I was hungry or if I would just wanted something small and minuscule like a milkshake, I'd go to my manager and be like, hey, you want to buy me a milkshake today? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. They do it for you. If you have good management and they don't care because they know you aren't a problem, then going and asking your manager for a simple favor like that isn't too much of a big deal, because they're just going to use the store card to buy their employee a meal.
That's why you need ground rules, though. You need rules for people to follow as far as lunch and feeding themselves and breaks are concerned, because people will try to manipulate that shit. And it's just not, it's a ripple effect that can destroy your company. Something as simple as, how do my employees eat? But I think that's the last one.
Yep, that's the last one.
Yay!
High five.
We got through it with all the technical difficulties in the world.
Anywho.
So this has been an episode of J Bop and Chip, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
That can't. No, you got. Now you can say.
Bye. All right, stop.